today, and the winner today is Mr. Saleh. Now, I haven't watched the press conference. That's the new thing that I'm doing now is I'm not watching the press conferences before I do this. I want to do that afterwards, and this way I have something else to bitch about. And there's a reason why I stated that from the beginning. But Saleh wins. If you think about what Saleh's goal was coming into this game, I looked at it that he had two major goals going into this game. And the first goal was not to create a quarterback controversy. So that's easily done, right? You put Flacco in, White stays White. Everybody's lasting memory of White is Buffalo still. So yes, there'll be certain people that say, hey, listen, it was a bad game. You should still give him another shot. But that's going to start to dwindle down a little bit until Zach Wilson comes in, let's say, and does real shitty. And then that'll resurface. But for now, Saleh played it safe. He put Flacco in the game. And the next thing he was counting on with Flacco having the kind of game that Flacco had, right? Safe, dependable, nothing crazy, nothing stupid, no 5 interceptions, nothing like that. So Saleh got what he wanted there. What he didn't count on was getting a beautiful bonus from a wonderfully coached team like the Miami Dolphins, who are basically a hair above the Jets in intelligence, but it's a hair, okay? You talk about a team exposing every single Jet weakness there was. Every single Jet weakness on defense showed its ugly face today. Think about it. Yet they could not fully attack one of them to completely demoralize them and put them away. And that is the sign of a horrendously run organization. Plus, they're not the most talented offense in the world, right? You have your Waddle, you have a little Gaskin, you have a little Tua doing his little thing, and you have a couple tight ends, and, there isn't much there. So Saleh won. Because what did Saleh want this week? He didn't want the quarterback controversy. Bingo. He got that. Flacco could have gone 60 for 70 today for 852 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. And I would say, for the most part, there wouldn't be that many Jet fans screaming to start Flacco next week. There was no way Flacco was going to win, right? Although I'm sure there's a couple Jet fans out there that want him to start, next week anyway, because they just want anybody but Wilson. So he won there. The second thing he wanted to do is he wanted to stop the bleeding. He wanted people to come out and say things like, the defense wasn't as bad. The defense definitely was better. The defense was improved. Yes, we saw some improvement from the defense today, which we saw none of it. I don't have to tell you guys this. You guys know this better than me. That defense didn't fool me worth a damn. Not one bit. Gaskin had the gigantic holes. Tua sat back there and looked like basically Mac Jones on triple the amount of steroids. Bing, bing, bing. Short, short, short. The announcer kept screaming for them to attack the Jets along with what? Waddle? They really don't have much to even attack the Jets that way. That's not who they are. If they had it, they would have done it. I think they would have done it. It's the Dolphins now, so just remember that. Because I'm being dead serious. This organization, from the way they screwed up the whole quarterback thing last year, I'm not impressed with the Dolphins whatsoever. I'm telling you, they're not far from us, guys, from an intelligence standpoint. So Saleh got exactly what he wanted. Where Saleh screwed up is I would have definitely sat Franklin Myers after what he did. Enough is enough with these late hit killers on third down in the red zone. I mean, how many times has this happened to this organization? The funniest part of the whole thing is that if Franklin Myers was amazingly to disappear, if you were to take white out him out of the picture, Shaq Lawson would have gotten the penalty. They both hit him late. I mean, it wasn't a question of whether they could tell whether he got rid of the ball. It was a horrible play. In fact, when both guys were on the ground, Tua's looking back and forth at him. Like, hey, ref, which idiot did you call this on? Is it this idiot here or this idiot? Did you make up your mind yet? Is this going to be the first time that it'll be two guys getting called for roughing the passer ever? Because there's two idiots here by my feet. I mean, I just don't understand that. And I'm sure Saleh, like I said, that's why I mentioned about the press conference later. I'm sure Saleh's up there right now, or actually it was probably about an hour ago, is up there saying things like, no, I'm not going to scream or bench, these are grown men. They know what they did was wrong. Yes, we'll have a talk to them. Yes, it was bad. Yes, it was wrong, but they're grown men. They're grown men. If they're grown men, then start acting like grown men. That's not acting like a grown man. Put them on the sideline. Just because you signed a brand new shiny contract 4 or 5 weeks ago and have done shit about it doesn't give you the right to hit the quarterback late to prove that you're still on the effing field. Because that was as selfish a late hit as I have ever seen in my entire life watching football. Sit his ass down. And this way, when Saleh got up in front of the press, after it was all over, he could have been asked the question, did you sit Franklin Myers? Yes, I did. What? Why? He cost us the game. Could you imagine how many people's heads were saved because the Jets' record is 2-7 today? Could you imagine if the Jets were 7-2 today? Do you want to talk about how many heads would be rolling right now? We start with Franklin Myers, right? How about Joe Douglas for not bringing in an effing field goal kicker? In 2 effing years, I've been screaming about this now, and you still will not bring in a field goal kicker that belongs in the NFL. Is it just a joke to him? Does he do this on purpose, knowing that we're not going to make the playoffs so we get better draft picks? Could you imagine if we were 7-2 right now and we had stuck with this field goal kicker? And then today happened? Could you imagine the opening at every local news sports with the Franklin Myers hit, costing the Jets possibly a playoff position? But it just is not a big deal when you're 2-7. Everybody just shakes their hand, just says, he's got to do better. They got to do better. They can't do that. It's like a joke. It's like a joke. So Saleh wins. Because am I pissed off right now? No. What did I want out of this game? Well, I wasn't really rooting for the quarterback. I don't believe anybody on the defense is going to impress me, so there was nothing there to root for. No, there was no improvement out of the defense today at all. You just thank God you played the Dolphins. I guess I was rooting for Elijah Moore to have a good game. Bingo, I got that. So they won. I'm a Jet fan. I'm okay today, I guess. Yeah, I mean, whatever I could root for was there. Michael Carter, he got hurt in the end, but had a fantastic run. Yeah, I'm okay. Everything's good. No complaints here. Not screaming for anybody's head. Yeah. My head does go certain directions, thinking about if this was a big playoff game, how I'd want to crush Joe Douglas right now. I mean, effing crush him for having that field goal kicker still. But we're not a playoff team, so probably saved us. We're going to get a better player, right? I mean, this is what it's all about. I mean, it's almost Thanksgiving. Got to start thinking draft. Amazing. And Ashton Davis, I watched him play out there, and I said last week, and he basically just brought it home this week. I mentioned last week I made a joke about the kids all playing in the playground, and the whistle blows, and the teacher calls in all the kids, and all the kids are inside, and they all look out the window, and there's that one little Johnny running around outside, and all the kids are like, what the hell's he running after? That's Ashton Davis. He's just running around, like he's no position, doesn't make a difference. And if he's near a guy, hits him. If a ball happens to be close by, I'll catch it. You know, chasing down a guy, pushing him out of bounds. No, you know, he's 260 pounds. Y'all push him out of bounds from behind. Insanity, pure insanity. I don't know what to make of this whole thing. I'll be honest with you. I've hit a new, as a Jet fan of 52 years, I've hit like a new level of numbness. It's a new feeling about the team that I've never experienced before. I've had anger, pain, heartache, triumph. I mean, I've been happy. I mean, the Jets were in 2 AFC championship games, you know, decade ago. There have been some real crazy happy moments. Parcells, you know, a quarter away from going to the Super Bowl, up 10. This feeling I have with this particular Jet, and then there were the crappy shit teams, the anger, but you always saw a light at the end of the tunnel, whether it was going to be as a new coach, new GM, everything was new. The problem I'm having with this Jet team is when the GM was hired and I saw what he was doing in the beginning, I really believed in what he was doing. Then a coach was hired and I watched the way he acted and the way he reacted when he was with San Francisco. I feel like I didn't get that guy either. So I'm sitting there rooting for these two guys, really, really, and I'm real super disappointed where we are right now. So that little voice in the back of my head saying, Jay, 6 picks in the first 3 rounds. Yes, eventually Joe Douglas will spend money on a couple superstars. He's not going to try to find C players and make them A players. Eventually he'll learn. There's a numbness that I cannot explain. 2-8, November, and no anger. It's almost as if the Jets have to lose 45 to something to get any kind of reaction out of me. Because nothing else will do. Not 24-17, not 24-14, and not 34-31 win. There is one thing that could bail me out of this numbness. Is next week I hear that Zach Wilson, and trust me guys, it could have been White, it could be Wilson, it could be anybody. But I know it's going to be Zach Wilson. That Zach Wilson will be playing quarterback next week. And I start to see something in him. Because I've got bad news for us. If Zach Wilson doesn't show that in the next 6 weeks, think about that. Think about in the next 6 weeks if Zach Wilson doesn't show us anything. I know I just ruined my night. I hope I didn't ruin yours. So that's all I've got to say. Houston Texans next week. Boy, oh boy, the Titans just keep giving, don't they? They just keep giving. I was listening to a radio show this morning. I was going to get a couple bagels, and I heard a radio station say, and the Titans play the Texans. Titans continue to show how they're the number 1 team. I'm like, boy, how did we beat the number 1? Look what the hell happened to them. And look what happened to the Buffalo Bills. So anyway, we get Texans next week. And again, that tells me that we're going to give up 20-something amount points. And let's see what Zach Wilson will do next week. Because that's it, guys. We know what we've got pretty much from all the young kids on offense. Right? We know what we've got from the young kids on offense. I'm settled in. I know what I've got from everybody except for Denzel Mims. I'm not sure about how that's gonna end up. On defense, there are so many question marks with these young kids. I don't even know where to start. But That's what happens when you put your eggs in a fifth, sixth, seventh uh, undrafted rookies. That's what happens. Whether it be done, you can go, the list goes on and on. It's a numbness. Zach Wilson, I hate to tell you, Zach, the eggs are all in your basket, bud. Because I can't even begin to think what this offseason is going to be like if we're walking around saying, I don't think this guy's it. Oh, God. Have a great one. Thanks for having me.